right. Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're doing well. Um, let's get started here. Get your math packets and go to page 14, please. You have a few minutes to read page 14 of the math packet. You usually get one question from this topic, sometimes maximum two on polygons. All right. You're usually asked questions on convex regular polygons. Usually what they ask you. Very few times I've seen they ask concave polygons. Okay? And the questions usually are pretty easy. Maybe once I've seen a little tricky questions. Okay? And there are usually three standard questions they will ask you. The interior angle, the exterior angle, and the number of diagonals. Okay, those are the three standard questions you're going to ask. Now, before we go into this one, I'm going to ask you a simple question. What is the simplest polygon we have? How many sides do we need to make a polygon? Three, right? And online students, I expect you to participate, okay? Okay. That's been our complaint to you guys. We're seeing a lack of participation from both the groups, and I would like to see a little uptick in your participation. It can be wrong. I don't care about right or wrong. I care about your involvement, the intent to learn, okay? So you need three. That's called a triangle, right? What's a four called? Quadrilateral. Four square is one of them, but quadrilateral. Five. It's a famous building, right? Pentagon building, right? Pentagon. That's five-sided. Six. Hexagon. You're expected to know these terms. Seven. Seven.
Is it a
Yeah, seven is a heptagon.
heptagon?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Eight. Octagon. That's a stop sign. Is an octagon. Nine. Nonagon. 10. Decagon.
Decagon?
Mm-hmm. 11. 12. You're supposed to know till 12.
Is it dodecagon?
Yep. 12 is a dodecagon. What is 11? People know 12. People miss 11 for some reason.
Is 11 hendecagon?
Good try. It's called 11 gone is a general term. 11 gone, 12 gone, 25 gone. Those are general terms. But then there's a name for 11. Decagon. Okay? Decagon, and 12 is dodecagon. Sounds good? So let's try the first problem. Do this. I would like you to tell me the interior angle of a nonagon. Let's go. Find the interior angle of a nonagon. Of course, if you don't know the formula, you're screwed in the real test. So that's the biggest problem, is people not knowing the formula. Tell me. What do you guys get?
140.
What's that?
140.
Somebody double check that.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Is there a decimal? Or exactly 140?
Exactly.
Exactly 140 degrees. Okay. Right? What's the biggest problem people have? They don't know the formula. And if you don't know, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you're not going to get it. Am I right? You got to know the formula. For the same polygon that's a nonagon, find the exterior angle. Go. Find the exterior angle of a nonagon. All right, there are two ways to do exterior angle. Okay, the one way is actually the easiest one. Remember, the interior angle and the exterior angle always add up to 180. You with me on this? So it doesn't matter what the polygon is. If it's a convex regular polygon, I plus E always adds up to 180. So if this is 140, E should be 180 minus 140, which is 40 degrees. Other way around is, you need to know the formula, 360 degrees divided by number of sides, which is 9, 40 degrees. Okay? And the I plus E, this is more important for me. I want you guys to know that I plus E should add up to 180 degrees. You gotta know this. Actually, many people don't know that. Many people don't know that. Good? Oh my goodness. Okay, for nonagon, find how many diagonals are in there. So total number of diagonals in a nonagon. Go. Sounds good? We have n times n minus 3 divided by 2. N is the number of sides. Again, this is easy. This is hard, this is hard, this is hard. So, how do you prep for these things? Constant studying. You with me on this? You cannot just study the day before. And people always tell me, I have made a significant effort. Yeah, try, it's trying to skip 5 days meal and trying to eat 5 days of meal on one day. It doesn't work like that. The system doesn't work like that. You do in incremental preparation. Sounds good? You got put in the time now. Nothing is magical. What you put in is what you get out. Fair enough? And this is a great example, is knowing the formulas. And I used to do a lot of quizzing before COVID. We had a more informal situation at the center here, where we used to do like random questions, and I can tell you, people used to really struggle, and especially on this one. Sounds good? So, don't study for a test. Spit out something and get a grade, and you think you know it. And I'm trying to convey this message not only to the advance or this group, to everybody. As a college president, I'm telling this. I'm concerned there's a trend that people are, especially high school students, are getting all these 100% and 99% and assuming they know that. The reality is not that one. You've been tested in this very small portion. You get what's that called? Study guide or something like that. You guys get that? Study guides or something like that? Yeah. Well, college doesn't work like that. Nobody gives you study guide. You with me on this? You're gonna be having to know the material. That's the only goal you should have. Next problem. Try this. And this was a question number 44 in an ACT, and this is how it was written. Find x was the question, and I'm gonna make it easy. Find x in degrees to help you guys. Go. Use common sense, just not focus about answers. Answer is the final step. The process needs to be clear. Let's start with face to face here. How many have an answer? 1, 2, 3. 3.5. Okay. How many online have an answer? 1, 2, 3. How many are confident your answer is correct? Online, anybody confident? Okay. All right. If you know your basics well, this is an amazing question to actually get to the answers without knowing anything. If you know your basics well. Okay, and I'll give you the answer choices that was given in the real test to you guys. Option A, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, 180 degrees, and 225 degrees. These are the answer choices. The reason I tell you that you can actually do this without knowing anything, if you know your fundamentals well, is here's the reason. And listen, don't worry about writing, okay? I want you to listen. So they're asking for this angle, am I right? Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this line and just extend this. Okay? I'm going to extend this line. What is this angle? What's that? 180 degrees, right? So if this angle is 180, should the x be more than 180 or less than 180? More. Did I need to know anything else? No, I don't. So if you're, this is how ACT questions are designed. When you know the basics, many times you don't need to know the formulas. Of course, I'm going to explain how we get to 225, but I'm trying to tell you there was a subtle message they were giving in the answer choice. That if you know your basics well, you don't need to worry about the formulas. All right, listen up. So, this is 180, okay? This angle here, I'm focusing. What is this angle called? Yeah? That's the exterior angle, right? Right, that's what is the exterior angle. So E is equal to 360 degrees divided by number of sides, which is in this case 8, which is 45 degrees. So X is equal to 180 degrees plus 45 is 225 degrees. Am I right? That small angle here is the extra angle, is the exterior angle. This whole thing is 180. Fair enough? Don't worry about writing. I'm gonna give you guys time to write. I want you to just absorb the material, okay? You guys good with this? Okay. Any questions on this? Now, there's another way to do this. Listen up. Actually, use this marker here. So, this is the angle they're asking, the X. So, now look at this. This entire is a circle, which is 360 degrees, am I right? So, if I can actually find this angle, then I can find the X, because it will be 360 minus this angle. What is this angle called? Interior angle. I is equal to n minus 2, which is 8 minus 2 times 180 degrees divided by 8, which comes out to 135 degrees. So X is equal to 360 degrees minus 135 degrees, which happens to be 225 degrees. Right? So you imagine this is the point, okay? This is angle X. This is what I'm asking for. If I can know the whole thing, then I can find this easily, because it'll be 360 minus of that. Make sense? What method would I have done in ACT? I would have gone with just like this. I knew my geometry well at the time, basics well. I know it has to be more than 180. If you're not sure, then I would rely more on either this method or this method. I would actually prefer you using this one than this one. So 1, 2, 3, 3 options. Either one of them needs the fundamental knowledge that will be more than 180. Questions? Again, I do not want you to focus on writing. It's all recorded for you guys. You can go home and watch it and write this. In college as well, I'm giving you a lot of free advice. In college, focus on learning. Even when I taught in college, I taught for a long time. I still teach. Everybody focuses on writing. They are just writing blindly. Nothing goes here. And when we test out, they struggle because they're focusing on writing. You can write when you understand. Sounds good? Go, write this. And ask questions. If you have anything, ask questions. And I want, once you guys are done writing, I want you to redo the entire problem again, second time. So you guys, everybody will be doing this problem 2 times, because that's a very important concept. All right. I'm going to ask you final time. Any questions? Does this make sense? Go to page 15. We're going to shift from geometry to algebra 1 right now. This is very strong algebra 1 basics we're going to start with. Let's do the show of hands, or do the thumbs up here. And I want you to be honest with me, okay? Because we are having difficult time gauging this class yet as a group, as a tutors. We all are instructors are having, we're not, because we don't, you guys don't talk much, so we don't know where you're at as a group. By raise of hands, how many of you are confident you know FOIL? F-O-I-L. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, everybody here. No? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, almost all. Okay. What grade do they teach FOIL in school here? In middle school? Do they teach in pre-algebra FOIL? You guys should know that, right? Do they? Yes or no?
It's like Algebra 1, I think.
It's in Algebra 1?
That's when I know.
Okay. Again, don't write anything, okay? I have a question. What's the relation between FOIL and factorization?
Foil is expanding it and the factoring is condensing it.
Okay, foil is expanding, factoring is condensing. What's the relationship then? You guys have to answer. I'm trying to get you participating here. Don't care about right or...
Opposites.
Somebody said that. Akshay said that. Okay. They're opposites. Right? FOIL and factorizations are opposite. So for example, if I do a plus b times a plus b, I get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So if I go in this direction, what is this called? This is called the FOIL. If I go in the opposite direction, it's called factorization. This is it. If you know this, you know majority of the algebra. This is the basics. Many people don't know this. Yeah, what type changes, but the fundamentals don't change. If I know FOIL, you should know factorization. You cannot just learn FOIL without factorization, and you cannot learn factorization without knowing FOIL. You with me on this? These are together. Make sense? Of course, I did write the answers. I would like everybody to FOIL this and see if you get this. Go. Let's start with that one. First question. FOIL this. Did you guys get that? It may be in different format. You may write a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. That's okay. It's an associative property of addition, right? It doesn't matter what order you write, it should be the same. You guys good? Now factorize this. A plus b, sorry, a minus b times a minus b. FOIL it now, please. Okay, I don't usually use the word FOIL much. What does F stands for here? First, what's O?
Outside.
Outside, okay. I, inside? Okay. And L is?
Last.
Okay. First, outside, inside, and last. Okay. All right. So you guys tell me what's the answer? Come on, let's go.
A squared
A squared
minus 2ab
minus 2ab.
plus b squared.
He's got this. So you can see if both these are plus, you get all plus. If these two are minus, you get minus 2ab plus b squared. Read? No? Okay. Okay. I want to go through this. This is important. This is okay. So everybody take a 10-second snap for read, okay? So I'm going to teach you this because this is important for you. All right. First, right? F stands for first. Okay. A times A squared. O is the outside. A times negative B, negative AB. I stands for inside. Negative B times A is negative AB. L is last. Negative B times negative B is positive B squared. If you do 50 a day, you'll never forget this. We had to do 500 a month. That was our requirement. We had a school. We learned this in 5th grade. And we had to do 500 per month. Those, what's the worksheets, whatever you guys call. We had 500 of these. By the time we had done so many, we could even answer those without even doing anything. You know, we were used to it. So, but this is so important. That's why. Okay. Next, FOIL A plus B times A minus B. And we'll have Reed answer this. Doesn't matter, it's wrong. Do you want to take a crack at this? No? Come on. Alright, let's do this. A times A squared. Follow this, okay? Then always outside A times negative B, negative AB. This is where people make mistake, is a positive and negative. Then I is the inside, positive B times A, positive AB, and B times negative B squared. And negative AB, positive AB cancels off. A squared minus B squared. How many got this? Okay, quite a bit. And this is the topic in a study called difference of squares. Huge topic for you guys. So A plus B times A minus B is equal to A squared minus B squared. Is a huge topic for you guys called difference of squares. Difference of squares. Sounds good? So remember, if I go this way, it's called FOIL. If I go the other way, it's called factorization, okay? And you can have questions from very easy to very hard in ACT on factorizations. You with me on this? It's sometimes can be very easy. So we're gonna start with the first question. And they're gonna have two ways to, in the wording, okay? Either you're gonna say factorize or simplify. I prefer the word factorize, but sometimes they also say simplify. Try this. Factorize x squared minus 64. This was question number 8 in the ACT. Remember, the first 20 are the damn easy ones. Okay, so this is question number 8. Average time you should take, once you get comfortable with this material, it should be around 10 seconds. Okay, like this. Alright, so 64 can be written as 8 squared, x squared minus 8 squared, a squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Sounds good? What does it mean? If I FOIL this, I get this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Remember, it's a binomial difference. It's a binomial. Two terms, negative, and they have to be perfect squares. Difference of squares. Sounds good? Then only I can. Second question. Factorize x squared plus 64. How many have an answer? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Online, do the thumbs up. How many have an answer? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's start with the online. I'm going to pick somebody here, okay? All right. Alisa, what's your answer? Natalie?
Yeah, I put x plus 8 and then, like, in parentheses, x plus 8. Like, I did that twice.
Okay, I'm gonna write what she said, okay? She said x plus 8 and I think she said x plus 8, right? Okay. How many have this? Have this answer? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Any other answers? Yeah,
X plus 8 square.
same thing.
Yeah.
X plus 8 squared will be the same after this. Yes.
I had x plus 64 and then x plus 0.
X plus 64 times.
X plus 0.
So x plus 0 is x, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other answers? If you guys were listening to me very carefully, you would have got this answer. You guys were not listening to me. I told you. If I FOIL this, I should get this, right? So let's FOIL this. X times x, x squared, 8x, then inside 8x plus 64. So is this and this same? No, it's not. So this is not the right answer, okay? Let's do this one. FOIL it, x squared plus 64x. Not matching. Right? You already know that. You just have to FOIL it and to see if you got the answer right or not. But you didn't do it. Am I right? You got to an answer. Remember, when you have a difference of squares like this, you have a ready-made formula. But if you have a summation of squares like this, you have no answer. Because anytime you try to factorize like this, the opposite does not hold true. Do you remember in math there's two types of numbers? Prime and composite numbers. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember first grade, second grade they teach, right? Prime numbers and composite numbers. What's a composite number? That can be factorized, right? A prime number cannot be factorized. This cannot be factorized. You with me on this? So the answer is prime or cannot be factorized. I don't actually worried. I was not worried about your answer. I was worried if you tried doing this. Because that was the whole point of this lecture is you should be able to justify your own answer by actually foiling it back and see if you got it. Am I right? That's what we did here, right? So if you foil this, you get this. If you foil this, you don't get this. So you know your answer is wrong already. That's the beauty of math. No other subject has that capacity to self-verify except math. Sounds good? So, and that's why I wanted to write to you guys your answers. It's not about right or wrong, it's about the process. Make sense? So, if it's a difference of squares, I can factorize. If it's a summation of squares, I can't do anything. Answer is prime. That's where it ends. This was actually question number 10 once in ACT. Question number 10. And guess what was the first answer choice? This. Everybody wrote this. Nobody checked by foiling it. Question number 3. Factorize. Eight x squared minus 200. Put a star mark to this. This is an important one. This was an ACT. How many of you have an answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 online. Anybody else? 6. How many are confident their answer is correct? 2. Okay. All right, please stop writing and listen up. Now, when we did the difference of squares, I kept using the word perfect squares, right? 64 is a perfect square. Is 8 a perfect square? No. 9 is, 4 is, but not 8. Is 200 a perfect square? No, it's not. So when you have a problem like this, there are two options. One, it may not be further factorizable, which is a good possibility, or a further simplification is needed before we factorize it. So, between 8 and 200, there's a common, right? 8 is common. Can you guys get your calculator? Do 200 divided by 8, please. 200 divided by 8 for me. What do you guys get? 25, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to factorize 8 out right away. X squared minus 25. So I converted a non-perfect system to a perfect system where x is squared, that's perfect square. 25 is squared, right? 25 is a perfect square. So 8 times x squared minus 5 squared. Now you have a difference of squares. 8 times x plus 5 times x minus 5. We converted a non-perfect square system to a square system by doing a simple simplification. Sounds good? So keep an eye when you guys have a problem like this. Do not jump to this conclusion that it cannot be factorized. See if there is a common factor that can help you go further simplification. Sounds good? Write this. This is an important question. I've seen this quite a bit in ACT and SAT actually. Fair enough? Any questions? Any doubts? I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.